life forces you to rebrand yourself or reintroduce yourself to the world, whether you want to or not. Sometimes we're forced into these situations. This episode was inspired by Gunna. He went to jail, he came out, got a trainer, got in shape, got focused. He didn't even announce, hey, I'm healthy now. It's just, you could see it.
In general in life, in business, personal, when you're thinking of a rebrand, I am sure if you put a Gunna or any high-end celebrity that anybody knows, there had to have been a time where they were in a room and had to contend with the thoughts that they didn't like about themselves. If you're gonna do something and you're gonna work hard at it, you have to know what you're doing. It's like a person going to the gym. If you just go there without a plan, you're not gonna get results as the person who goes in there and knows what they're gonna do already before going into the gym.
Let's flat out. Big teams, big boys, alright? My highs and lows, inherit growth, Mr. Deeds. Went from juggling 3 jobs to CEO like I'm Steve. Never been a rotten apple, call me John Appleseed. That's how I bleed. God can see, no other man can judge me. Call him Mike, Mr. International, getting cream. My single mother told me worth, and now I'm worth everything. Went from Wall Street to Abu Dhabi, straight rolling in a Maserati with women that feel exotic. My life too prestige.
Man, you didn't have to do them like that, man. You didn't have to do them like that.
It was film day.
Yeah.
We gotta make a statement.
Exactly. We gotta make a statement.
What's going on, man?
Flat out.
Welcome back to the Last Fight Out podcast, where your hosts Mike and Jay. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And please leave a comment on all of our videos, not just this one. I'm your host Jay. Just in case you've forgotten, you can follow me at JLubrio26 across all of my social media profiles, and you can follow Mike at
If Mike was here.
Mike, man, you're looking so dapper tonight, man.
Tonight, I might head to town. I'm still on vacation.
Yeah.
So
just know that every time Mike's in New York, there's never a time he's not on vacation.
No, but we've been working though. We've definitely have been working. So in this season, it's been a long one, but I would say we've just been head down.
Yeah, it's been
grinding.
Head down. It's been grinding. Hit the South, Houston with Bun. I've been all over personally, I've been all over the country, just working, just traveling. I know you were down in South America with the fam and enjoying Mexico. So look, man, it's always a lot of traveling when it comes to doing this podcast. That's the exhausting part. What people don't realize is, and I told someone at work this, when you're not traveling for vacation, when you're just traveling just to be on a plane, planes are actually very destructive to your body. Like when you're on.
Oh yeah, it takes a toll.
Yeah,
it takes a toll.
I'm old and I'm like, this compressed air is not doing me right. Like I'm at the point now where I have to take Gas X.
Oh, what is Gas X?
It's like de-bloater. It's like when I get up to because I don't eat airplane food.
Yeah, me either. That's the worst thing.
No matter where I sit, whether it's first class.
First class, you gotta eat.
It's the same. It's coming from the same place. Like it's coming from the same over salted, sodomized like place. It just played it different.
It looks different though.
It does look different, right? But it still like gets me bloated. So I try not to eat that stuff. But yeah, it's exhausting. And we're already thinking about season 6. I will be in Dubai, Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
So I'll typically do that. But
today we want to talk about rebrand, and what does that mean? And every few years, life forces you to rebrand yourself or reintroduce yourself to the world, whether you want to or not. Sometimes we're forced into these situations.
Yeah, because you get hit with like surprises in your life, you know what I mean? And it forces you to think about certain things, right?
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of times you either do this private or publicly, And,
how do you feel about that when people do their rebrand publicly? Like in terms of like, I'm doing this publicly or stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that type of person anyway, so I just figured like, I don't care if anybody does it publicly, but I know some people find it cringy. Yeah, right? That's the word.
I mean, I think whatever works for you, do it. Some people need that to hold themselves accountable. Right. They need to put it out there to be like, I said this, so I got to do it.
But when you put it out there, right, you subject yourself open to questioning. Right. Yeah. My issue is with this. This is my issue. This is why I asked you. Yeah. If I'm doing something privately, nobody knows about it. No one can question about me, but I'm pretty self-disciplined anyway. Yeah. Right. But if I ask you a question about it, you get offended by it. It's not because I'm trying to hate on it. It's because I actually pay attention to what you're doing, and I ask you, hey, you haven't done this in a while. Why not? Yo, you hating. I'm not hating. I'm just asking you, why haven't you gone to the gym or whatever you were doing for 3 months?
Yeah.
Or have you stopped posting it? Have you whatevs? And then this is the reason why you can't question anybody anymore. Just stay in your own lane. Just stick to yourself.
Yeah.
But I think that.
But I would think if somebody publicly announces like any changes that they're going to do, I would think that they're open to the questioning, or they're inviting you in.
I would hope
to their journey.
I would hope.
I would hope
put it on put on close stories.
You know, yeah, yeah. But I would say, you know, the premise, or I guess the framework of this episode is, or what this episode was inspired by, is by Gunna. Both of us love his music, and I personally like what he's been doing with his brand, because at first I wasn't even a fan. You know,
I don't even want to. I don't.
So shout out to you.
I've stayed loyal to Gunna throughout his public controversies that he, you know, these are all public, so everybody knows what he's gone through, but we're not here to rehash it. But I've stayed loyal to him since he had his first, second, third mixtapes, his albums, and then, you know, he went away for a little bit and then came back out. Mike was not on the train.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, and both of us are not street dudes. You know, at all. We don't live by any code. But just, you know, being a fan of hip hop, and I'm like, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. If you're a hood rapper, street rapper, there's codes to this. So when the whole YSL case came out and what it deemed as him being snitching, I was like, man, I can't even listen to it. I don't even know why I said it. I guess I'm gonna admit it. I was going along with the crowd, which most of us tend to do. You know, I don't do that often, but in this one, I was like, oh, I'm not listening to any snitch.
I stayed headstrong to Gunna. But let me on that premise, right? Yeah. When I think the code is the general code, and I'm not a street dude, not to snitch on your homies, or not to snitch at all, right? You have to start from that premise. Yeah. And like, I think I heard one time, I forgot who said it. They were like, would you snitch on somebody who did this, that, or the other, right? Like things that were very negative to your life. Yeah. They're like, nah. And they're like, are those your homies if they do this? Are those your homies if they do that? And the person said, no, no, no. Then how am I snitching on my homies? How did I break any codes? Yeah. I'm not staying in jail for somebody who's not looking out for my best interests. You know what I mean? Like that's already tough enough to go to jail for even if you're doing it for a loved one. Yeah. Let alone somebody who doesn't have your interest. But look, ever since he's came out, there has been a rebrand. So
yeah, and I think he's done it quietly. He has not been on he's not been on any podcasts. He's not had any interviews talking about the situation. He's only just shown love to Young Thug. And even, I think recently he had a concert and he was rapping Young Thug's lyrics and vibing to it and all of that. You know what I mean? So
I think Young Thug has a different perspective.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's you know, there's things that I think this situation, he went to jail, he came out, got a trainer, got in shape, got focused, and kind of just was doing the work. Like he didn't even announce, hey, I'm healthy now, I'm going to the gym. It's just, you could see it.
You can see it.
You can see it, yeah.
The work is showing for itself, right? Yeah. And I think that's the best type of rebrand, right?
The amount of music.
Oh yeah, the music has been popping.
The lifestyle change.
He's not doing the lean anymore. Yeah. I think he said he stopped doing weed and just not smoking as much anymore. I mean, he just did at the time of this podcast recording, he just did the flag football in London, where he captained his own team against H. So he's getting more global. He's doing a lot more sponsorships. He's trying to like break out.
Under Armour deal.
Yeah, the Under Armour deal. He's trying to break outside of the mold. And I think that's part of that, right? Do you feel like in order for you to shed and evolve, you have to lose something? But I don't think he lost who he is as a person. I think he just changed the people he was surrounding himself by. Yeah. And that's shown, you know, you can't be in certain societies and expect certain outcomes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think being personal to it here, like my evolution coming back to New York, I don't hang out with the same people I hung out with from before I left. Yeah. Because that was not conducive to my lifestyle now, right? Like, so I don't do certain things anymore. I don't partake in certain activities anymore. So me and those people don't really have, and there's no offense to them. We just don't have anything in common, right? Yeah. Like they kind of just stayed back in 2016 when I left, or 17, and they never evolved to 2025, 2026. That's about to be now, right? So I think just like how your skin sheds fully every 7 years, I think you have to always take stock of, am I making the same mistakes? Do I still have the same habits, right? It's always time for you to always self-evaluate and just take an assessment of yourself as to what I need to do to rebrand, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I think a successful rebrand happens when you're true to yourself. Because I actually happened to, I actually got the chance to see him in Dubai when he performed.
Gunna?
And so I saw him in Dubai. He was performing at Blue with Ja Rule was also the same night. Shout out to Don DeMarco. I was there. So I was in like the artist section and all that. And what you see, what he posted about the gym and working out, that's without the cameras and all that. He's in the artist section, VIP section. You would think, oh, he's getting lit. He's in Dubai, things like that. He's laser focused on the show. Comp bottle was probably there, and that was for his peoples. He wasn't taking a sip of that. He was just totally locked in, and you could see that, like the aura, the energy. Right. And I think that only works when you're being true to yourself.
Yeah. You know? But how do you stay, I guess, what's that balance for you personally in terms of like be evolving into new phases in your life and fundamentally staying to who you are? It's hard sometimes.
It's hard, and I think
switch up.
Yeah, no, and I think sometimes it takes. And man, we were supposed to have. Honestly, this was gonna be kind of a theme of who was gonna have, and we'll get him in the future radio. He's done the theme song.
He's the voice of Last Flat Out
Podcast. You know, but in his story, it was about sometimes who you surround yourself with. Those ideas become your own, or what you see, what you consume, and you really don't even know who you are sometimes.
Like, you mean like your ideas are no longer yours, but rather an amalgamation of the things you consume?
Yes.
I mean, you are what you consume in part, right? Like,
yeah.
That's the reason why limiting screen time, reading more like actual physical books, and like getting away from like what you see on the internet because it's so surface level is being preached now, because I think we've gotten way too far where people get all of their information off of their phones instead of like actually fact checking, critically analyzing everything that they read. So I've actually started, look, I'm ashamed to even say this, but I haven't picked up a physical book. I've read on my phone, like Kindles and things like that, but I haven't read a physical book. I don't even remember the last time when I did it.
Really?
Because the New York Public Library has the Libby app, so you can read books off of that. But it's never like the paperback, right? Like it's never like that. So I'm actually going to start to go back to paperback reading because one, it's healthy for you, and two, it limits the time I'm away from my phone.
True.
Right? So that's, I think, just an intellectual rebrand.
Yeah, I like to collect books. So if it looks cool, I read on my phone, but then sometimes certain books, I'm like, this is a collector's item. Let me get this and then physically read it.
Yeah, right. You trying to get the Hove book? Oh, you should have tried
I got the Hove book. What do you mean, the one that's
like 100 stacks?
Nah.
Why not? You should read that.
Nah, I'll get that. I know he got a regular version out there.
No,
so.
There is a regular version. But what's your, like, when's the last time you rebranded, you would say?
I think I'm probably going through a rebrand right now. I think since I hit 40, just like thinking about what I want my 40s to be like, you know.
40s 25, man.
Not 25, new 30s for sure. New 30s for sure. But, you know, understanding like, all right, and I feel like it's like a midlife, like 40. It's like, okay, the next 40 years, I'm 80 something, you know, years old, if I'm blessed for that, you know? Yeah. So it's, what am I going to do now to set myself up right for the 50s, for the 60s? And that comes with health, that comes with money and things like that. Because now it's more so, it's like, all right, like I want to retire at 60, 65 or something like that. Am I ready? I'm halfway there. Like, am I on the right track? So I think that marker kind of like, you know, got me to start just thinking about things different.
What are some tough conversations you've had with yourself on certain topics?
Tough conversations like, can I still be the same Michael? Or has this version of myself gotten me to where I'm at as far as in relationships, as far as even my spending habits? You know, has that gotten me, like, I'm not broke or poor or something like that, but can I be better off? Like, can I be in more chill mode instead of grinding right now, you know, because of my spending habits. So
Right.
that may have to change for a bit to get back on track. You know, the type of person I am as far as cultivating relationships or keeping relationships.
Right.
Can I still be that person? Is that healthy? Is that conducive? You know?
Yeah. The question I also have that I ask myself is, when people are trying to evolve, what's the audience you're evolving for? It could be yourself, right? Like, inclusive of, I'm just doing this for myself. I'm just doing this for my friends. I'm doing this for a partner. I'm doing this for my family, right? Like, you also have to think about the audience and what you're doing it for, because my relationship with you, between us two, it's not the same relationship I have with my brother. It's not the same relationship I may have with a romantic partner, right? They see me in a different light, right? Like, you and me talk about things differently, and you're my friend. But there's conversations that I may have with you that I'll never have with a romantic partner, and vice versa, right? So you may think I'm fine because our relationship is stable, but I can have a completely unstable relationship with other facets of my life depending on who I am as a person. Then the tricky part is, if I rebrand that relationship, how does it affect the already stable other relationships that I have in my life, right? So it's always like a counterbalance that I always have to manage in my own personal life, in terms of like, what's the Libra scale like, right? Like, because you're not going to make everybody happy in terms of who you are and what you do. Like, for example, coming back to New York, some of the things I've kept true to myself as values is the concept of close relationships and family. Who gets that time is not necessarily equal. Like, my grandmother's older, right? So I'm dedicating whatever free time that I have to go to her house. But I may not be able to go to like my dad's house or like my brother's house or something like that, right? So she may see me as, wow, he's great. He's always in my crib. Meanwhile, everybody else is saying, like, yo, you lost? Like, what happened? What's going on? But I have to then explain to them, like, look, I see time a lot differently now because I have so little of it that when I do give it to somebody or something, you may need to wait third, fourth in line, you know? So something like that.
What kind of led to that? So is it something that naturally, because you're coming back to New York, it's like, all right, people necessarily don't know this version of who I am now, or you reevaluated how you were before when you were living in New York, and like, you're like, I want this time to go different.
I'll step it back. My time in the Middle East, I was alone for a lot of it. Right? Like, I'm talking about, like, I didn't have like my family or my best friends around, which was great. Because one, it taught me how peace feels like. And it also taught me the value of time, because I had a lot of it and I had a lot of time to think. I also had the time to observe situations from afar without any distractions of being in the middle of it. So when I got back home, I made sure I was very intentional with the things. I mean, it was an intentional move to begin with, right? I came here for a great opportunity and all that, but I was like, all right, I need to let people know that you are no longer in the same room as the John that left for London all those years back, but you're now with this new person that had new experiences, that grew and has a lot more different perspectives than you may think, because I've been around different people and I haven't been in the same local blocks I was for the majority of my life up until that point before I left. So I think that in order for me to have gotten to where I'm at today, I needed the times where I was sitting in my living room thinking to myself, like, damn, am I just going to go out just to go out? Or am I going to stay in and actually do the work that I need to do for myself so that I can actually move forward and be the person I'm trying to be? And that's the reason, that's what I give. That was the blessing of the Middle East for me, because it allowed me to be the person I am today. London, I was doing the same shit I was doing in New York, but just in different geographies. So, like, not that I had bad spending habits, because I never had bad spending habits, but like, I was out. Well,
not the stories you told me.
The first year in London, I spent it all because I wanted to have that experience.
Okay.
Like, purposefully. That was intentional that I did that. I was like, yo, I'm gonna have a great time. Like, I worked hard through law school, through college, the bar exam. Yo, let me ball out for 1 day, for 1 year. That's it. And then on January 1st, 20, whatever it was, I said no more. And it was cool. Now it's every once in a while. You just call me at a bad time when we're
All right. All right, cool. I think it's also important about what you just spoke about, and I'm seeing it as a common theme. And I feel like whatever you're going through in your life, I think those things pop up, or those themes pop up in different aspects. And it gives you chances to just like analyze. So you said you had time to yourself and alone time.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it. And now I'm realizing how important that is to just, sit by yourself. Sit down and really sit in your feelings. Sit in that, I guess, be comfortable with yourself.
But a lot of people, I think I said this multiple times in multiple episodes, people don't like the thoughts that run through their head. That's why they're not by themselves, right? That's why they, in general in life, in business, personal, whatever it may be, when you're thinking of a rebrand and putting it back to the theme of the show, I am sure if you put up Gunna or any high-end celebrity that anybody knows, there had to have been a time where they were in a room and they had to contend with the thoughts that they didn't like about themselves.
Yep.
And then you have to think, then your next question needs to be, what am I going to do about these thoughts? And what am I going to do about these feelings while I'm having these thoughts? And if you don't know what to do, that's the reason why you should go get a medical professional to help you through that. But most of the time, you're going to need to talk to somebody because it's hard for you to actually go through a rebrand without going through like anything else in life, the business plan of how do you do your rebrand, right? Not to make it like a business plan, but if you want to evolve, you need to know what you're going to do, what are the activities you're going to partake in, the people you're going to surround yourself by, the habits you're going to build, right? Like it's hard, bro. It's hard. Like for me personally, like I'm personally going through like a very healthy type of rebrand in terms of, I mean, you don't see me blow up anymore because like I'm learning how to keep whatever temper I have to the things that need the temper, working out, sports, and just keep it there. Before I used to take that shit with me throughout the entire day. And I was like, I don't, this is not healthy. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for the people that are around me. It's not healthy for any of that stuff. Stay true to who I am. I'm not a pushover, right? And I'm not somebody who's going to mince his words, or I'm not somebody who's not headstrong, but I do need to learn how to be more subdued and listen to other ideas and being able to be receptive to criticism. I don't care who you are. Like, it's not like everybody's like, yeah, I love criticism. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I definitely was not that type of person, but it's something that you have to sort of get over, right? So that's personally like something that I'm contending with at the time right now. And I think I'm like really executing the rebrand that I wanted by coming back to New York, but it's still a very long-term plan. But you being out in Abu Dhabi for all those years, do you ever feel like, I mean, look, man, like, I don't know, I'd be your thoughts. Like, you've been there for 10 years now, and I think like maybe you've forgotten how to live here, right? So at this point, like, how do you always keep the ideas fresh in your mind for like what you want to do and how the things you want to change, right? Like, obviously there's the obvious things happen to you in your life, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe your mom's transition or some other, significant, putting that aside, like, how do you keep yourself kind of accountable when you're over there?
To be honest, I think it's life events that has happened to me that it's like, it's like a recheck, like a reality check, because I think living out there, a lot of things were shielded from, as far as just like, there's a lot of free time, it's a lot of safety and things like that, and just the lifestyle is different. So you kind of get shielded, but then when life hits you, it's like, all right, we have limited time on this planet. Like, what impact, what's my purpose? And what do I like? Am I taking the steps today to get there?
Yeah. I think that's tough. I mean, I think that's really hard to contend with. Like, when I was out there, and obviously we met towards the end of the time that I was there, but like when I was there, I think I was like, I didn't have any time to think because I was working so much that when I did have the time to think, the only thing I could think about was how busy I was and how mad I was about, like, damn, like, I'm over here in the Middle East, like getting worked and I can't even enjoy this experience like this in the way I wanted to enjoy it. But I was able to enjoy it, but it just came in a different package. And I just think that, just connected to this podcast, right? We have seasons, and then in between each season, what people don't see is how me and Mike talk about how we're going to rebrand the podcast, or like, it's not going to be major shifts in the podcast, but like, how can we change around the edges, right? How can we get deeper in the conversations that we're talking about? What are some of the new fresh topics we can talk about? The diversity of people that we have on the podcast, because I don't want the same type of person here.
Yeah,
you're gonna hear the same themes because most successful people are gonna say the same thing.
Yeah,
but their journeys are all different, right? Like, but it's always a challenge to break the mold, right? Go against the grain. And I think that in this podcast, what we want to always do is go against the grain and not be cookie cutter, look like everybody else. Even though there's a formula you could probably follow to get a lot of notoriety, but I think doing it this way where you're actually paving the road in front of you is the much more longer term play. So, and I think that, I guess, connecting it to a rebrand, I think some people cop out and just conveniently rebrand so that they can fit a certain narrative that will benefit them in whatever way they think it will benefit them.
Yeah.
Which, again, it goes against the authenticity part.
Mm-hmm. I think as far as like when we talk about our rebrands within the podcast, to me it relates to, you know, personally what I'm doing, and then I think what this podcast is doing is I feel like, you know, something has to die in order for us to grow, you know, or we have to shed. So for me, I feel like, you know, my ego in many things, and I think even when it comes to the podcast, I think we've become more humbled, and, you know, we started expecting things. And I feel like this season, it was like, there was no expectations. It's just like, yo, let's just keep filming. Let's get content. Let's do things with intent. Let's get the people that we really want to get on here and that really rock with us. And it's like, oh shit. Like we don't go, it's like, oh.
Yeah. But I think going to what you said, I think we took a much more relaxed approach.
Yeah.
And we're just like, whatever comes, and we're not going to force this anymore. Yeah. And I think I wouldn't say this was a home run season, but this was like a good triple.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean? Like,
nice. Yeah, exactly.
Finally, like, you know what I mean? It felt like everything was flowing. Now there's certain back end things.
Yeah.
Because if it's not one thing, it's another. It's another. It's like, it's crazy. I don't want to. You know what? I don't want to.
The home run season is going to be when everything connects.
Everybody just says yes. I'll get back to you everything in a day or two, and we're good.
Money flows in. Back end is working.
Back end is working.
We're not
Me and Mike were just talking about scripts.
Yeah,
we're just talking about what we're going to talk about, and we step away from all the technical stuff. But that's not the reality. The reality is we're still uploading our own fucking videos. And I was like, I need to make sure that this podcast's rebrand includes us not doing that anymore. But
definitely.
That's going to come with time, man. But so going back to your point, I think when you do rebrand and you evolve, something needs to die. And it not necessarily is within, but also externally. Certain people, you come to realize they're not good for you, right? Like they're not good for you, because once you find your peace, some people who are not good for you will want to try to disturb it, right? Like, or whatever it may be, right? Certain equilibrium that you have in life, a certain balance, and they're generally not happy for you. And you could tell who the sneak dissers are by their comments. Pay attention to the small little comments that people make. That says a lot more than the big grandiose acts.
Or the lack of comments.
But like, the good thing about haters and supporters is they always watching. So keep watching. Thank you. Right? But I on a serious note, the things that they don't do. I have now stopped officially asking people to comment on this show. I have stopped, because begging people to do it is not going to get them to do it.
But if you're watching now, comment.
Comment.
You're here, comment, please.
It really does help the algorithm. You guys know the drill at this point. But yes, it does help, because I think the engagement is really the only way that separates you from the sea of content that's out there. There's so much that people can watch on an everyday basis. I personally get exhausted. I know some people just dive right into it. Like, random. I was talking to somebody who says they're watching 11 shows right now. How do you
11 podcast shows or just shows?
Shows, right? How do you stay committed to that much? You know what I mean? Like, I could watch max 2 shows. It needs to be Power and BMF. That's it. And that's all I'm watching. But I can't watch Power, BMF, Severance, Succession. I can't watch all that stuff. Love Island, Love Games, right? Whatever. Right? But like, it has to be for me one thing at a time, with shows that have I can be committed to one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But that's how it goes. But do you feel like you've lost, or you're not at the point of your rebrand right now where you've lost anything or anyone because of the positive changes that you're trying to make in your life?
Yeah, I think, definitely slowly, habits get lost, whether good or bad. Is, you have to let them go. When you recognize like, hey, this is not conducive to the new version that I want to become or the man that I'm becoming, you have to let it go.
Right. So. And if you wanna, what do you want like the next chapter of your life to be titled? If you could think about it, like.
I haven't even thought about that.
That's a good one, right? Go ahead.
I mean, for me, it's just success in every aspect.
But what does success look like for you in your 40s? Like, what do you want that to look like? Because you have to have a vision, right? Like, you have to have a painting that you're striving towards, right? And I think when people say they want certain things and they talk about in the abstract, like, what's your north? Like, I had a mentor tell me, what's your North Star? And I didn't know how to answer that question.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's the difference between you working hard towards nothing versus the person who's in their couch doing nothing?
Yeah.
And that stuck with me forever. If you're going to do something and you're going to work hard at it, you have to know what you're doing. It's like a person going to the gym, and I'm not a gym head. I'm not a professional at this, but I'm assuming if you just go there without a plan, you're not going to get results as a person who goes in there and knows what they're going to do already before going into the gym, right? I'm not just aimlessly pumping away, getting tired just to get a pump and just to make myself feel good that I worked hard.
Yeah.
That's, and same with evolution and rebranding and, reaching new heights. Like, what are you doing it for? And why are you doing it for? How are you going about doing it, right? It's like what I said earlier in the episode. Without a plan, you're just kind of lost, right? Like, just kind of floating in the air, and you don't want to be like that. Yeah. Then you're not able to explain yourself, right? Like, sort of like in this AI sort of ChatGPT, OpenAI, Gemini, like society that we live in now, there's nothing wrong with using it as a tool. Right. But like you said before, if you're depending on it for your ideas, they're not really your own.
Yeah.
Then you could be easily convinced to do something else. Then you can't even explain yourself. Then, it's just one of those things that, talking about this topic, it's been talked about so many times from people, but you want the people who are speaking about it to be a real life example of the work that they're talking about and that they're preaching. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm one of those people, right? I know that you're doing everything that you can on your end, but at the end of the day, it's like, who's delivering the message, right? So if you want to be, whatever it may be, like, since we're having a kind of conversation, like for me, like to you, just think about, what do you want Mike at 45 to look like?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are some tangible things you want? And then work backwards from there. You want a 6-pack? What is a 6-pack at 45? Right? If you want to have more money in the bank, what does that look like? Yeah. Without me having to get a new job, do I need to spend less? Do I really need to buy those extra pair of sneakers? It's just like things like that. Like, and cutting lattes ain't gonna help, right? Like, you need to make like big seismic changes. Yeah. Like, in terms of like real habitual changes. That's what I want.
No, exactly. Honestly, for me, when you talk about titles, I would say his word is his bond. Meaning, when I talk about anything, when I talk about where we're taking this podcast, I want people to know, like before, I don't think, like, I feel like now people are like, oh, you guys are podcasters. Like, like people are recognizing like we're making moves and all that. We have a lot of friends and family that are happy for us and all that. But my vision of where I want to take this and what we can do with this platform is, I don't think we haven't even touched the surface.
No, we're not there yet. Yeah. I think part of that is on the first episode with John, when he was building his agency, he said he was burning the candles from both ends. Had it not been because he got fired, he wouldn't have failed upward and just going full into his agency, to building it to be a $70 million, asset under management enterprise, right? Mm-hmm. Which is great for it's just a 2-man team. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying we need to get fired to get that. I don't want
to put that in there.
I'm very happy with my employer, but what I'm saying is, either there's only 24 hours in the day. So it's what I tell you all the time. If you want to get it to the place we want to get it to, and we know we can get it to, there's only one thing left to sacrifice, and that's sleep. Right? That's sleep. So make sure you get them topicals, whatever you need to do, plug them in, and that's it. That's why having, like, you know, waking up early, staying up late, really the only thing that's going to do, because I'm not working any less, at least my end, and I'm not going to sleep anymore. Yeah. And I'm not going to dedicate less to the podcast in order for it to grow. Yeah. Right? And so if I'm not willing to do that for my own platform, why would one person sit down and watch 30, 40 minutes of this episode if I'm not willing to put in that work to gain their trust that I'm going to put out quality content that they should listen to? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's only my thing in terms of, like, you know, and we've stayed true. We're self-funded, so we can choose our brand partnerships. We can choose our adventure, right? Like, we can choose what we want our brand to be. And then when we don't like them, because I actually do read the paperwork, so I will make sure that we keep creative control at all times. I'm going to be able to be like, I'm out. Once I can complete my commitment to you, if this no longer fits my of where I want to take my brand, I'm out of here. Right? Exactly. That's power to me. Yeah. That's power, when you're able to control your own narrative. We know certain people out there can't say something about certain things because they have a paper that there's a gag order, there's this, there's that. That's professional. That's like professional being locked up. Professionally locked up, right? Like, when you can't even control your own voice. And that, to me, I never want to be that. I always want to control my own voice professionally, personally, at all times. And we decide who we give a platform to as well. You know, so we're not forced to, you must have this person on. Talk about what they promote, what they want to promote. Like, that's true. You know, like, I think that's the beautiful part about this. I mean, even though you and I may have some differences with certain people, like, at least we're aligned on 97% of the people that we ever thought about bringing here. But, you know, it's going to get to that place where, you know, people are starting to, like, oh, okay, you guys got something nice. It's past the point of, like, oh, this is cute. Yeah. Like, you know, like, good job, guys. Now it's like, oh, these guys have been doing it for what, 2 years now?
Yeah, it's 2 years.
2 years coming up. Month.
Yeah, this month, 2 years. Yeah.
Around my birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's, but I feel like we haven't done, it'll be 50 episodes. Yeah. At the end of season 5. So, 50 on the dot.
Oh, yeah, it is, right?
50 on the dot. It's like, yeah. But
that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm like, yo, just let's pump. And not to pump to just put out any BS or anything like that. Let's do quality, but let's get more reps in and all that.
Or Mike likes to call bulk recording.
Yes.
bulk recording. Yes, if I don't already bulk
And honestly, even this season, us trying things like separately and all that, I think that was good exercise as well. Yeah. You know?
We should do that. We should do that a little bit more. Like, I think it really, speaking about a rebrand, right? Like, you know, like, this is the first time me and Mike have tried doing solo episodes, him taking advantage of being in the UAE and me being here in New York, where we're just like, all right, like, let's try to multiply the amount of times that we can get somebody on the podcast. And although there's certain people that we're always going to want to be there both for, if we can actually help it, like, let me take that back. The preference is to have both of us there.
Yeah,
at all
of course.
Of course. But there's certain times where I can't just show up on a Tuesday because the person's like, I'm only available on Wednesday. Yeah. I'm not going to have Mike come over just for a day and just to be like, oh, here you go. Like, I'm here to do an interview. So I think that as a rebrand, us being individuals in a podcast and us being a team, right? Yeah. Also, you have your personal brand. I have my personal brand. And we have our brand together. Yeah. Right? Like, at all times. And you always need to, like, balance that and raise up that profile. And also, it's good practice to be able to talk to somebody one-on-one.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it is. So, like, it's different. How you prepare for the podcast is different because, you know, when you're with somebody else, like, you know, I kind of know what Mike's going to say. He knows what I'm going to say, and we can bounce off each other. But when it's just solo mano a mano, you got to stay locked into this at all time.
You got to.
There's no, like, oh, I'm going to let Mike handle the next 2 minutes. Let me get ready for the next question. There's none of that. Like, you got to stay locked in. You got to have the questions kind of, like, lined up. How do I want this conversation to go? So that was a good sort of rebrand for me in terms of a podcaster. Now that I can call myself that, which is weird because now more and more people in my life are starting to bring it up all the time that I didn't know who was watching it. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, so, like, most of the times I don't even say it. Like, if someone doesn't know me, I do not say it.
I don't say it.
And like when I was on the cruise and all that, and like my sister's like, oh yeah, and my brother got a podcast too. Talk to him about it. Like,
yeah, but then what's the initial reaction when people find out you have a podcast?
Honestly, no, people are like, oh, cool. And like when I show them and all that stuff like that, they're like,
yeah, when you show them.
Yeah.
Before you show them, what do they think?
They don't think anything because I think I come across as a knowledgeable guy, as a cool guy. Okay. So, but I think when I show them, then they're like, oh, this is legit. Like a
legit production.
Yeah, legit production. They see, even though we don't, like, for us, we know we don't have that many episodes, but I think for a lot of people initially, they're probably like, oh, you got probably what? 8 episodes or something like that. And then they see like, oh, okay, you got this guest. They're like, oh, wow. So
we're only halfway. This is the halfway mark, actually. So this is the halfway mark. Halfway mark to 100. That's when we can start complaining. That's when we're.
I don't even think so. I don't think we could ever complain.
It's fun to do this in a way. Like it really is fun to like just sit down, record, and just like, you know, shoot the shit, catch up, and then talk about like, yo, when's the next time I'm going to Dubai? Those tend to be, I think, like thinking about how we're going to set up the next season is always the most challenging thing. Yeah. Because we're back at square one.
Yeah. And I think we always add a different element. Like this season, we you know, did our individual podcasts and things like that, our individual episodes. Next season, you know, it talks about how about having an event, hosting an event, things like that. That could be pretty cool.
Putting that together takes time.
Yeah.
The right people together. We've had some people flop, let's be quite honest with you, right? Like, sort of like, it's just like one of those things that like putting everything like that together is timing, resources, the right time, the right opportunity. But we do have to put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
That's something I want to challenge ourselves for the upcoming season, to do more live shows like we did with MKO, to just maybe do it as part of an activation. Yeah. Right? Like something like that, be part of an event, right? To have, like be part of a panel.
Yeah.
So it's
putting ourselves out there.
Out there, just marketing a little bit. But again, it's tough when you have a full-time career, or you're managing this podcast, and you have so many other just like commitments, man. So
yeah. Well, we're getting there, and we're blessed to have those full-time careers because that allows us to do a lot of the things we do. So
shout out to my employer for that. I love doing all the work that I do for you guys. You know, nothing but great and positive things to say. Yeah, man.
But no, man, it's been a fun ride.
Man. Shout out to you, bro.
Yes, definitely.
Close it out here, man. How you tell everybody where they can find us?
Anywhere you stream a podcast, we're at Last Flight Out Podcast. I'm on Instagram. If Mike was here, where can they find you?
At JLubrio26 across all of my socials. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in this season, like every other season. I hope you really enjoyed the work that me and Mike have been putting out there. We're trying to build a little corner of the internet, and without your support, like, share, and comment.
Like, share, comment.
We would not be here today. Honestly, we do this for you as much as we do it for ourselves. So thank you so much for tuning in once again. See you next season, and we hope to come back with some online episodes, Mike.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool.
We gotta bring that back.
Yeah, so thanks, everyone. Peace.
All right, peace.
My life too pristine.
Man, you didn't have to do them like that, man. You didn't have to do them like that.
It was film day.
Yeah.
We gotta make a statement.
Exactly. We gotta make a statement.
What's going on, man?
Flat out.